Hi, I'm Chuck Dorsett for Weaver Leather Supply, and this is the Leather Element. If you've got a good question for us or a good idea for a Leather Element, drop it in the comment box below. Also, if you want to know when our videos release, just click your notifications. You'll know exactly when these come out. So we're going to talk about a tool. It's a bit obscure, but 2 big points. First off, very inexpensive. If we use this tool 2 or 3 times, it's paid for itself. But secondly, we can turn scrap leather into usable leather. And for us crafters, that's a big point. So let's step over here, see what I'm talking about. At Weaver, we've got all kinds of great options for lace. We're going to talk about these, then we're going to jump over to what we're talking about here. So on our suede lace, we've got some gorgeous colors, relatively inexpensive, pretty affordable lace. We've got our top grain lace, or our Pro. If we need some strength, we've got Latigo. And if we're working more towards, say, the jewelry side of leathercraft, we've got a great round lace. One of my favorites, all-time favorites. This is our deerskin lace. So right off the bat, some gorgeous colors in this. We use this for our Spanish basket weave in our briefcase project video, but also for edge lacing. That's my favorite there. It's got a little more thickness than our Pro, but it's also got a bit of a flat finish to it. To me, that is spectacular. But here's where we're going with this. So say we've made a project with our Lexi. This is our chrome tan. It's got a little bit of body to it. We don't have a matching lace for this, and that's a little bit common. We don't really have a lace for every leather out there. We've tried. We've tried. But the point here is this. If I want to cut matching lace, or say I need lace a little bit larger than what's available, we've got a tool here that's going to do that for us. So let's jump over to our main table, see how this works. If you've never seen one of these work, these are great. In fact, it's almost comical. But we're going to cut about 8 feet of lace out of this piece of leather. Let's start right here. We need a round hole, about 1 1/4, maybe 1 1/2, and we want to center that as best we can on our piece of scrap. Now that's a leather balm bottle top. That's about 1 1/2. We could use that, but I'm going to back off a little bit because I've got a good template. So let's come into about 1 1/4 inch, and I'm just going to try to get that in the center of the leather. Good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now let's cut this hole out. Again, we don't have to be perfect, but let's do a good job of getting a good round hole here. Good. There we go. Again, not perfect, doesn't have to be. So with this, we can cut 2 different widths of lace, and we'll talk about that. But our blade is right here, and you can see there's our cutting edge right at the center of the tool. Yeah, there we go. So what we're going to do is pin the leather between the blade and the spine of the tool. You'll see what I'm talking about. So let's insert this, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to push this to the edge of the leather, the inside edge. Now, with softer leathers, they're a little bit tougher to get started. But what we can do is with these 2 fingers and these 2 fingers, give that just a little bit of tension there. But this is our Lexi. We don't really need it. But let's push that around. It's cutting. So now let's grab that tail and pull that. We are on. Let's flip this over. Move everything out of the way. You'll see why. So, all right, let's put that on our table and let's just pull some lace. And that's about all we're going to get out of that. So relatively easy to do. But again, we have got about 8 feet of lace. And we'll look at that, but 2 things. First off, on our ends, those can be a little squirrely. Where we start and stop, we look pretty good on this end. Down here, let's see. Yeah, a little bit rough right there. Let's just trim that off. Now it is curling a little bit. All we have to do, let's just run this through our hands, give it a little tension, and that's going to straighten out. So I'm going to do the whole lace just like this. Okay, well that looks pretty good. Now we said about 8 feet. Let's see what we've got. So this is our poundo boards, 2 feet long. Eight and about 3 inches. 8 feet and about 3 inches. Here's a great point though. You know what? I don't mind throwing that away. Look what I was able to get out of that. So great tool. let's step over. We're going to look at inserting or replacing our blade. Much like our burnisher, we've got multiple slots for different weights of leather. I've laced up to, I think, about 6 to 7 ounce veg, and it worked just fine. Now to change out our blade, we've got 2 springs here. Now, after a little bit of use, these are going to loosen up, so we can just drop those off with our finger. If it's a little tight when it's new, all we need to do is spread that just a little bit with some needle nose. There we go. Now we can slide that off the end of the blade. Those don't really hold that blade in very tightly. They're more of a safety feature. So when we take out our blade, there we go. Same blade as our hand skiver. Same thing. So therefore, we probably already have these in our shop. And if we've ever used one of these, very sharp blades. Now, when we insert this, we can cut 2 different widths of lace. So right here, closer to the spine of the tool, that's 1/8 of an inch. A little further out, 3/16 of an inch. So I'm going to take my blade, cutting edge in, and I'm going to drop this in. In fact, I tend to go to the 3/16. I like that lace a little bit better. I just need a little bit more strength, but it slides right in there. The cutting edge, again, is towards the center of the tool. So therefore, I'm not worried about cutting my hand. Now on our springs, those are going to slide right back on, hopefully. And if we have a little trouble, our blade sticks out a little bit right there. But if we press on the back side, there we go. That'll slide right on. Easy enough. And that's ready to go. So it's really kind of a quick change blade, but very sharp, very inexpensive. So a big help in my shop. We've got a number of great ways to cut lace in our shop, but the lace maker, it's a very simple tool and very inexpensive. The big point though, we could take virtually unusable scrap and turn that into lace. That's a big help. We pay for this leather, let's use it. I hope this is good information for you. Thanks for taking time to watch The Leather Element. Good luck with your projects.